Today on the channel, beware of spiders with the NECA Gremlins 2 Ultimate Spider Gremlin.
The spirit of the warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Gremlins unboxing and review. And today, fresh off the Target NECA Haulathon, we've got the Gremlins 2 Spider Gremlin. But for all your Gremlin needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. Anything over $59 does ship free. And this, like I said, is at Target right now as part of their Haulathon event. Eventually, it will be at the Entertainment Earth of the world and things like that. So, a little long game on that if you need to, or maybe you can find this at your local Target currently here. But this has been a re-release, or this is a re-release, as this was released quite a few years ago. And we always say it here on the channel. We put our business hat on and we always talk about it. If there is money to be made, if there's an old figure, I don't care if we're talking Hasbro, Mattel, or NECA, if there's an opportunity to make money, guess what? They're going to make it. They're going to come back out with it, and that's what we got right here. As the prior version, a little bit higher on the end side right now. You go to the eBays in the world, it was very, very high priced compared to original retail. NECA saw a hole in the market, and now they have filled it with this one. That's just the way it's going to go. Sometimes there'll be some tweaks and things like that, but it is the way they go. That is the way these companies go to market, and it makes sense. They want every dollar out of our wallet, as we always say. But we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I passed on this originally, always kind of regretted it, said, it's another long game item. Well, the long game is now, and I'm happy I waited, didn't pay one of those inflated prices on this, as I did get this for usual retail in the $60, $70 range, depending where you do live. So it is a bit of a pricey figure here, but it is a very big figure in box, as you can see. Let's take a look at the packaging here. Got that familiar Gremlins logo, but technically this is Gremlins 2, so they should have a Gremlins 2 logo on here, but it is what it is. It's part of the Gremlin franchise. Spider Gremlin, of course. If you're scared of spiders, you're scared of gremlins, this is horror personified to you then, but a very creepy and possibly the creepiest gremlin of all time, I would say. I'm not a huge spider fan. I mean, I'm not going to cross the street if there's a spider in my way, but not a big fan of snakes and spiders. I wouldn't have them as pets. I guess we'll go that far, but very, very gruesome, very, very ugly gremlin. On the side, Spider Gremlin. On this side, Spider Gremlin. Spider Gremlin. And then on the back of the package, we've got a little bit of blurb action. How about that? And there's old Gizmo lighting the way. Oh, poor Gizmo. He didn't know what he was getting himself into. Gremlins once again. But let's see what it says on the back here about the old Spider Gremlin. The most massive and most incredible Gremlins figure ever produced. When fully assembled, the Spider Gremlin stands over 10 inches tall and is nearly 15 inches wide. You know what we call that? A shelf killer is what that is. That's basically a full shelf. It's tough. When you have limited display space, it's tough to find room for something like this. And you guys know my Gremlin set, it's a little bit of an ancillary collection. I kind of move it shelf to shelf. Okay, here's my G.I. Joe stuff, but I got one shelf available here. That's going to be Gremlins for now. That's going to be Ghostbusters for now. And then when I fill that up, that shelf goes somewhere else. So that's kind of how I use my Gremlin collection as kind of a filler, and I move it around. Eventually, it'll probably be with all my NECA horror figures, the Universal Monster figures, stuff like that, eventually. That's one part of the collection we've never shown on the channel, my horror collection of all Universal Monster stuff. So maybe one day we'll do a video on that. You never know. Might bring my dad over for it as well. But where were we here? Where were we? Featuring a hinged jaw, ball-jointed shoulders, elbows, and wrists, and 8 massive spider legs that are also articulated, equaling over 30 points of articulation. Oh boy, somebody tell Todd McFarlane. Includes spider serum bottle and a display stand. Some assembly required. Gizmo sold separately, but of course, you know me, I got Gizmo at the ready. We're going to pull Gizmo out for later on in this unboxing and review. There it is right there. Nothing else in here, so I'm going to go off to the side. A gentle see you later. A gentle. But it looks like I've lost some things out of the package already. We've got all these legs all in the bags. We got all this going on. We've got the big, big plastic prison for this guy. But let me dive in. Let me get him uncorked, cut out of here, and we're going to be back talking all things Spider Gremlin. All right, we're back, and I'm going to try to dive in on the articulation on the spider gremlin, but let's start off with the accessories first. I should mention we did get instructions with this, and to put this guy together, you had to get some hot water out. Oh, hot water, everybody loves it, but you had to put each limb in the hot water, let it soak. It recommended 20-25 seconds, and I did find that to be pretty much correct. Then you stick in the leg attachment, get him in there. Of course, he's all wet. You got to kind of dry him up and stuff. But it does all go together fairly easy, easier than I thought it would. Not the funnest to have to do that, but it is what it is. But it did go together fairly smoothly. And we'll dive in here, and let's start off with the accessories first. We do get this beaker, beaker. I think it's a beaker. We do get that. It's got a big spider logo on it, and it does say flammable. Of course, this is the potion or the magic elixir, whatever you want to call it, that he did drink to become the spider gremlin. So it makes sense. Nice blue liquid inside there in plastic, but we've seen this multiple times in the Gremlins line. Different colors. I think we saw a pink one of these. So it's pretty much on brand. It's easy reuse, but it does make sense with this spider gremlin. But as far as accessories go, that is it. The big one is the figure here. I guess one accessory you could call it is the black stand that is underneath. Just a black base for this guy with a pole. Fits into the stomach of the spider gremlin. And there you go. You got him lifted up a little bit. You got a little stand. But technically, you don't necessarily need the stand. You could have him just straight down if you wanted to. I guess you can choose your own spider gremlin adventure if you want to. But this is a big, big boy. As you can see right here, he is fairly long, fairly wide. This is a shelf killer is what this is. This is going to take up a lot of real estate in your collection. To me, I'm going to have to put him somewhere, and I'm going to have to maybe put some figures in around the legs maybe. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Or maybe he's a very top shelf collection piece. I'm not sure exactly. I'll have to figure it out, I guess. Stay tuned. Future room tours, you might see him. You might come across him and stuff like that. But let's break this down. I guess we'll break down the articulation on the legs first. They're all going to be the same. Of course, you have 8 legs. Spiders have 8 legs. Makes a lot of sense. But you do get the ball joint up there at the body it attaches to, so you get a ton of movement all around right there. It does go down to the elbow. Is that what we're going to call that? An elbow? The first elbow? I don't know. But we do have a ball joint here, so you plug in there. Then you get a bunch of turnaround right here. Then you get another elbow joint right here in the middle. So tons of articulation there. And then you get it all the way down to the little sharp end pieces, like a nail, a stinger, whatever you want to call it on the very end. So you got horns throughout, nice green color to it. Like I said, every single leg is going to be the same. They're going to be used the exact same way. But this is a big, big monster. And you got to move his legs around, stick them up like so, get him in a real spider pose. Get the front ones that are kind of almost like hands, almost like gripping, but you got those kind of off to the side. But just a big, big, massive figure. And like I said, this is going to be some real estate for collectors out there. Just absolutely, absolutely wild, but very, very cool at the end of the day. Is it the most iconic Gremlin? I wouldn't go that far to me. It's one you don't forget if you've seen Gremlins 2, but he's not as iconic to Stripe as me. And I guess it depends which Gremlins movie do you prefer. I think the majority of people prefer Gremlins 1. A lot of people hated Gremlins 2 when it came out. I absolutely loved Gremlins 2. I thought it was a great movie. I was a little kid at the time, so maybe that helped. But I think a lot of people have come around to Gremlins 2 in the last few years, and a lot of people do enjoy it. And NECA definitely enjoys it because they've made a lot of different Gremlins from that movie, including the spider gremlin. But we continue on here. We get down to the body. I guess we get the big, what do you call this? I don't know my spider anatomy. I've forgotten it since my high school days. We get kind of that egg sac or whatever. Looks like she might be having babies. Who knows? Who knows? But you got this big, big sac on the back, and it looks like something you'd see on a spider. Just ugly, scary, creepy. A nice plastic. It feels a little bit hollow, a little bit light. You got a little bit of a, I don't know if that's a stinger or what that is on the very end, but this does attach to another ball joint, so you get tons of movement right there. Then it goes into the back here. You got some spikes onto the back. Almost looks like a turtle-type shell on the back there of the spider gremlin. Looking really good. And then you get to the body of the gremlin, so that's what makes it different. It feels like a spider up until here, then it becomes a little bit more gremlin. You get the same kind of color scheme, the same kind of spikes going on throughout. I love these big fins on the back here. Just absolutely cool. Looks like a mohawk running down the back. Very cool in the red and black attack. Got the spikes up on the shoulders, all that. You don't get side-to-side articulation, but you do get the up and down articulation on this guy. So as I do take this off, I guess that does work. It lets me hold it a little bit better here. We do get the up and down, so you can move them into those positions. You do got arms that go around, so you get some arm movement here. You get single jointed elbows. I will say my elbow is very loose on this one. I'm going to have to try to heat this up and get this back into place. But it is just kind of hanging on by a thread. So that is a little bit of a quality control problem right out of the package. And it seems it's only one of my arms. but it definitely is flailed out. Flailed? Is that a word? It is now, but it's flailed out. I'm going to have to heat that up for sure to get that back into place. You do get the arms that move up and down. Like I said, you get the elbow joint. Then you get the hands back and forth, side to side. 2 gripping hands on this guy. No extra hands, nothing like that. You get the head on the ball joint, back and forth. Plenty of movement out of that head. Get articulation out of the ears. Nope, no ear articulation, but the jaw is fully articulated, which leads us down to the head on this guy. Man, a face only a mother could love. You got those crazy splits in the eye. Very reptilian-like, just very ugly, very nightmare fuel right there in the eyes. You got those jagged teeth. You got a big tongue back behind there. You get the big ears off to the side, almost like wings, it almost looks like on him. You get a very soft-colored underbody, and then you get some of that speckling on the gremlins that we saw on kind of Greta and some of the other gremlins here on the channel we did unbox. But man, oh man, is he one ugly dude. If you got a fear of spiders, this probably isn't going to be for you, because he does look like a gigantic, ugly spider, that is for sure at the end of the day. A little quality issue here on the elbow. Hopefully I can fix that with a little bit of heat. And then, of course, these legs, I have heard people snapping these off, so you got to be careful. You got to take your time, do your due diligence, as one might say, to make sure these snap in okay, because that's all you want is a $60, $70 toy snapping at the leg, snapping at the arm, whatever it may be. It's not a good day at the old office, that's for sure. But very, very cool. Happy to have this all these years later. Am I going to say it changed my life? Am I going to say it was worth the wait? Probably not. I could live without this. And like I said, the Gremlins are more of an ancillary collection for me. I pick them up. It's not one of those things, I got to get that Gremlin. It's just kind of a little bit of that long game when I come across them. In the Haulathon, a perfect opportunity to pick this one up again. Wasn't going to miss that opportunity, but it is definitely cool. The worst thing about it, trying to find space for it. I think that's everybody's collection, but still very cool for what it is. I love these deep cut Gremlins. I love that NECA took the attention to detail to make something like this as well. Nobody else is making a big spider gremlin, so you got to give kudos to NECA for stepping up the plate to at least attempt it. So there it is, the old spider gremlin. What are your guys' thoughts? You picking this up, playing the long game, taking it day by day? Let me know in the comments down below. I think we can all agree whether or not you collect these or not. This is a pretty crazy action figure at the very end of the day. But let me know your thoughts on this one. Of course, you made it this far. You might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. As you guys know, we got videos every single day. And then some, yes, and then some. And make sure you do subscribe to this very YouTube channel. And you can also follow along on the Patreon. You get early access to videos like this. This is one of those videos that's up for quite some time, usually early on the Patreon. So if you want early access, bonus content, Q&As, things like that, or you just want to support the channel, the Patreon is the place to do it. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media. Hit me up and follow along over there at SirPaul64 on Twitter. Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the Spider Gremlin, I'm the Spider Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.